Swapping hard drives seems like a daunting task for most people, but it's actually really easy. I will explain and show you a little bit of how to do that. There are several reasons as to why you may want to swap your hard drives in your computer, but the three that seem to be the most popular from my experience are the hard drive failed, the hard drive's too slow, or you just don't have enough free space on it. Prior to going over the process of installing a new hard drive, I first wanted to state that if you haven't watched my video about different types of hard drives, I have included the link down below and at the end of the video, so be sure to watch that to gain a little bit more knowledge, in-depth information about the different types of hard drives that you'll come across. So prior to swapping your hard drive, you'll need to do the following. Make sure that your new hard drive is compatible with your computer. Make sure that all of your data is backed up where it can be recovered. And also ensure that you have your operating system on a media such as a USB drive or even a CD-ROM, depending on how you're installing your media. So let's swap some hard drives. First, I'm going to assume that you've already watched my previous video about hard drives and have purchased your replacement hard drive. Now we need to make a backup of your data. This can be done in several ways. If you have software such as Veeam Backup, then you more than likely have a full restore for your new hard drive, and your new hard drive will have all of the data that your old hard drive had as if nothing had changed. Everything's going to be pretty much identical for the most part. Not all backup software restores everything like that, so in that case, you'll typically only have your photos, your documents, basically all of your files that you use on a daily basis, and potentially some applications. But most applications and user accounts will have to be recreated on your new hard drive. Another option is to physically move all of your data that you want to keep to a USB that has enough space, an external hard drive, or even an internal hard drive. Next, you'll want to shut down your computer completely and disconnect any power cords that are on it. If you're using a laptop, go ahead and unplug the battery to ensure that there's no juice going to any of the components, including the hard drive. Once the power is disconnected and you are free of static electricity, go ahead and unplug any power cables from your hard drive, SATA cables, and then also remove any of the screws that's holding your hard drive into the bay that it's located. Not all hard drives have all these connections that are mentioned. Some plug directly into the motherboard, and those are referred to as the M.2 drives. So all they'll need is a screw to go ahead and remove, like you'll undo the screw and then you'll pull the hard drive out. Then you'll want to install your new hard drive in the reverse order. So you'll put it in, and then you'll put your SATA connection, and then your power connection. Once you've installed your new hard drive, next you'll want to go ahead and turn all your power on, plug it in, turn the power supply unit on, and boot up your computer. And when you boot up, you'll want to boot into your computer's BIOS. So that way you can ensure that you're able to boot either to the USB thumb drive or the optical drive, depending on what media that your operating system is on. Once you have ensured that you can boot to the proper media, now you'll want to restart your computer and boot into that media or that drive that your operating system is on. Once you're there, you'll go ahead and follow these steps to correctly install your operating system on your new hard drive. And once the operating system is installed, you'll be free to use your computer as normal and even restore from any backups that you may have. Hopefully you do have backups. Some of the common issues that you may run into when swapping out hard drives are incorrect format on the new hard drive connections, corrupted backups, and even your peripherals not working. For incorrect formatting on your new hard drive, NTFS is typically what Windows and Linux will use nowadays, so ensure that your formatting is correct first for the operating system that you're using. If you are able to connect your new hard drive to your computer prior to removing your old hard drive, you can format this disk via Windows Disk Management. As far as hard drive connections, it's important to see what connects your hard drive to the power and motherboard prior to purchasing a new hard drive. So double check whether your hard drive uses a SATA and power cable or if it connects directly to the motherboard like an M.2 hard drive will. As far as corrupted backups, Some of these are repairable, but for the most part, they typically aren't. So what I suggest is to do a backup often, especially right before you go swapping any internal parts on your computer. If your peripherals aren't working, that's pretty much an easy fix for the most part. It's typically due to drivers not being installed in your new operating system, so give the computer a moment to install the drivers itself. If after 5 minutes the drives aren't installed, you can go ahead and go into Device Manager and have it update drivers, but I suggest going to the manufacturer's website itself for the best drivers for your specific devices. There are a lot of other issues that may come up, but typically these are the ones that occur most often. If you have other issues, I would suggest reverting back to your old hard drive if possible and researching what happened and starting over from scratch. It's possible that a brand new hard drive was bad from the manufacturer straight out of the box. Return it and get a new one if that happens to you. Do not try to use it because that's only going to cause more issues in the future. So now I'm going to give you a few suggestions on what should help guide you through your hard drive swap. If your desktop computer can handle multiple hard drives such as this one, I suggest using a solid state drive for your operating system and a hard disk drive such as this for your storage. If you have the money to go ahead and buy 2 solid state drives, one for your operating system and one for your storage, then I would suggest doing that because your solid state drives are going to be faster than your hard disk drives. For your laptop, always go with a solid state drive rather than a hard disk drive. 1, solid state drives are faster, and 2, since they don't have any spinning parts or moving parts like hard disk drives, they're more durable during transportation of your laptop. Also, if your computer is compatible with an M.2 drive, one that connects directly to the motherboard, buy one. M2s are the fastest solid state drives out there right now. Lastly, when it comes to restoring data, I'm a little indifferent on installing your old operating system onto your new hard drive. There's pros and cons, but I want to give you a con real quick, which is why I would not do this personally on my own computer. The con is bugs. Any corruption, like corrupted files, any bugs, bad settings that you don't even know are turned on that you may not like, those carry over from your old hard drive if you're bringing over your old operating system to the new hard drive. So that's personally why I would never back up and restore the operating system, only back up and restore your files. However, bringing over your old operating system can be great and have its perks, such as initial work when you first set up your operating system, because all your settings and everything is going to be pretty much the exact same. Your files are going to be where you left them and so on and so forth. So there's pros and cons. Personally, I would only back up and restore files and photos and other data, but not the operating system and settings. With all of that information, you should be able to successfully swap out hard drives on your computer. I cannot stress this enough though. You need to back up your data often. Ensure that your new hard drive is compatible with your computer, and you need to have your operating system ready prior to removing your old hard drive. Don't forget to check on my other video about hard drives to learn more about hard disk drives, solid state drives, and M.2 drives. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'm happy to answer them. As always, thank you for watching and be sure to like and subscribe.